Hello everyone, let us see how to use healing tools in Photoshop. So let us start. Healing tools are used to basically remove or move any unwanted things from the image. So here we have an example. Here we have a book cover. Let's try to remove some of the texture that we see on this book cover. For example, here we have author name. Let's try to remove this author name. So what we can do is, first we need to select the marquee tool. We need to draw a selection around this name. And to remove this, first we need to check the background. We want the background color to be over this selection. We need to fill this selection with this background color. Here the thing to observe is the background color is the plain color. So first we need to pick the color, and we have picked the color. Here we can see the foreground color is exactly the color that is on this book cover. And now let's fill the selection with this particular color. So the shortcut is Alt backspace in PC or Option backspace in Mac. So we can see here we are able to remove that particular text. It's very easy on this image because the background color is a simple plain background color. And we will also try to remove some other text here. So Alt backspace in PC or Option backspace in Mac. So it's very easy in this image, but let's try to remove some of the text from this particular image. So if we are to remove some of the text from this particular image, and if we try to use the same method, that is by picking the background color and trying to draw a selection around a particular word or text and trying to fill the color using Alt backspace. So here we can see the problem. So it doesn't remove the text the way it has removed in the previous image. So the reason being, here the background is not plain. We don't see a plain color background. The background has a mix of colors, and also there is a noise over the background. So in such cases we have to use a different method to remove any unwanted text or any unwanted element from the image. So how we can remove? So let's try to use another method to remove this particular text. So we can use something called contentaware. So let's try to remove this letter T using the contentaware method. So we have to just draw a selection like before around the object that we want to remove, and we will just right click inside the selection and we will select the option fill. And once we select the option fill, we can see a fill dialog appear, and from the fill dialog we can find contents, and from contents we have to select the option content aware. So let's select the option content aware and simply click OK. So we can see here it has perfectly removed the letter T. Now let's try to remove this particular letter U, and we'll use the same method. We'll simply right click inside the selection and we'll select the option fill, and again the fill dialog appears, and again from the contents list we'll select content aware and let's click OK. Right, and we will try to remove this particular letter also. That's it. So we can use content aware to remove texture from the backgrounds that don't have plain colors, that have mix of colors, mix of light and dark colors as well as some noise or texture or pattern. Okay, let's also use content aware to remove some other object, or let's say this person, this boy. Let's try to remove this boy using content aware. Here we can see a beach. The boy is walking on the beach. And if we are to remove this boy, first we need to observe the background. So the background has a beach and we can see how the beach is appearing. See, on the left side we can see a sand and also a water. On the right side we can see sand and water. At the center we can see the sand and water. So we have a uniform background. That is what we need. If there is a uniform background, content aware works perfectly. It can easily identify the background and it will fill the selection with that particular background. So let's try on this boy. So let's activate the rectangular marquee tool. Just draw a selection around this boy. Make sure that the selection is not too close to the boy. We need to keep the selection a little bit away from the boy. And now all we have to do is simply right click inside the selection, select the option fill, and once the fill dialog appears, from the contents list we have to select the option content aware and we simply have to click OK. That's it. We have removed the boy. So this is how we use content aware to remove any unwanted objects or persons or subjects from the image. The next amongst the healing tools is the patch tool. So here we have the patch tool. So we have a list of healing tools here. So we'll be looking at these tools, but let's now look at the patch tool. The shortcut for patch tool is J. And in case the patch tool is not active, if we hit J, we can use Shift J. Shift J will select any one of the healing tools. Right. So let's select the patch tool. And once the patch tool is selected, here we can see the options source and destination. So first let's see what is source. Source is the problem area or the area that we want to remove, that object that we want to remove, that is the source. For example, here let's try to remove this letter U. So with the source option active, let's draw a selection around this letter U. So we can see here we have not used any marquee tool. We can use marquee tool, but this time the patch tool has a lasso like selection, so which we have to draw around the object. And now what we have to do is we have to simply drag this selection. We have to drag the selection into the area that is similar to the background behind this letter U. So we can see a similar background on the right side. So we have to simply drag this selection. So that's it. Now we have removed that letter U. So let's do the same thing for this letter O. Let's draw a selection around this letter O using the patch tool. And now simply we have to find a similar background that is inside the selection. The similar background is to the right, and we will simply drag this selection, and that's it. So we have removed the letter O. And in case if we see any tiny patches or tiny marks that are visible, still if you want to clear all the disturbances, we can just do it perfectly. So we have to just be patient, and we can remove everything. Right. So the better usage of patch tool is to remove pimples and acne on the face of any person. So let's try to open this particular image. Here we can see this lady has some pimples on her face. Let's make the face of the lady clean by removing all the pimples. So the way to do is, let's activate the patch tool here. Let's keep the option source active, and we just have to draw a selection around the problem area, and we have to find a similar background, the skin background here. Just we have to drag our selection towards that particular skin area. That's it. So now we can see, and we have to just repeat the same procedure for other areas. So now we can see we have cleared her face. This is how patch tool works. This is an excellent healing tool to remove any marks or pimples on a person's face, and we can also use this particular healing tool with other healing tools. Let's also try to remove these pimples over other image. So here we can see the pimples are too many on her face. So let's use patch tool again, but this time what we'll be doing is, instead of the option source, let's try destination. So the destination is the normal skin area. Here what we used to do previously is, when we select source, we are targeting the problem area, the area that we want to remove, the problem that we want to remove. But when we select the destination, we are just copying the normal or clean portions of the image, and we are going to paste the clean portions on the problem areas. So let's do it now. So with the destination active, here we have a normal area that doesn't have any pimples, and now we have to drag this particular area and keep it over the problem areas. So this is the reverse process. So we can use this reverse process to remove any pimples or marks from the image. And let's again come back to the source. So we can use the combination of both source and destination to remove any unwanted issues. So again, let's come back to destination. So we can just keep using source and destination, and we can clear the disturbances. So we can come back to the source again, and we can see some issues at the bottom. So let's drag. So this is how we can clear her face with the combination of both destination and source. But make sure that we don't lose certain important details. Right. So we can see how much improvement we have brought on her face. We'll be now using the patch tool and also another healing tool, which is the healing brush tool, to remove the text over this book cover. So let's first start with the patch tool. So what we'll be doing is we'll start with the text over here. So we'll just draw a selection, and we need to make sure that the source option is active, and we simply have to drag. We have to drag to the area that is similar to the background inside the text. That's it. So we have perfectly removed the text. Now we will keep the option as destination, and let's try to remove this word guide. So we can just draw a selection just like this. Here we have selected the option as destination, so we will be just dragging this empty area over this word guide. Right, so here we can see still we need to clear it. So again what we'll be doing is we will just draw a selection, but make sure that whatever area we are selecting, that area is similar to the background behind the problem area. So that's very important. If not, we might face some issues. And if we see some small patches or small marks, and if you want to remove everything perfectly, we can again come back to the source option, and here we can see a very small blurry disturbance. So we can then fine tune everything by again using the patch tool for the second time or third time. Right, now we will now see another healing tool, that is healing brush tool. We can see it looks like a plaster, a bandage. The icon of the healing brush looks like a bandage, so we'll just select it, and we can increase the icon size by hitting right square bracket, and we can reduce the icon size by using left square bracket. Right, now we have to sample the background or copy the background. To copy the background, we can simply hold Alt in the keyboard and just click on the background, or we can use Option for Mac. We can hold Alt in PC or Option in Mac and click on the background to copy the background, and then we can just simply paint. Although this is not a perfect healing tool, we can still achieve great results. You can just see here, this part is not going away clearly. This part is having some issues. So what I want to do is I will come back, and for this particular these particular words, I'll be using the patch tool. So for me, patch tool is better for these particular words because the background here is not too clear. So I don't want to take the risk. That's it. So we can use the combination of both healing brush and patch tool to clear the disturbances, or to clear anything, to remove anything. That's it. So I have removed everything from this book cover, especially the main title of the book cover. And now let's quickly remove this particular text also. Just draw the selection around this particular text and drag it to the nearby area, but make sure that the background resembles the background behind the text. That's it. So we are able to clear the top portion of this book cover. Now let's come to the bottom portion of the book cover. This is a bit challenging because here some of the text is overlapping with the image or this butterfly. So let's try first. Let me start with the patch tool here. So here it's fine, it's going away properly, but when we actually get closer to the butterfly, we might face some issues, but we have to be very clear here. It's not that we have to use only the patch tool. We can also experiment with the healing brush tool. So let's first remove all the words at the bottom. So that's it. We just have something a little bit of the things to remove. Right, so we are able to remove everything here. So now let's start removing this particular letter T. So I am using the patch tool completely because patch tool is the better option over here. With healing brush we may not get a perfect change. So we need to be careful here. So we can see here, we might get some issues. It's okay. Just we have a few more things here. So that's it. So we are able to remove all the text. We can use this as our own book cover. We can just select the type tool. We can just put some title here. We can just say my story. We can just change the color. We can also put something else like the author name. I can just put my own name here, based on true story. So we can put anything if we want. We just have completely changed the book cover into our own book cover. We have placed our own content. So this is how we can use the patch tool and the healing brush tool to remove any unwanted things. The next amongst the healing tools is the spot healing brush. So here we have the spot healing brush. So with this tool we can get rid of pimples or text or any unwanted thing with just one click. So let's try on this image. So once we have selected the spot healing brush, all we have to do is we need to just target the problem area. So means we'll try to remove these pimples. Here the thing about this particular image is the pimples are not concentrated in a particular area. They are just randomly placed. So we see the pimples here and there. So we will try to remove them. All we have to do is just we need to take our spot healing brush over this pimple and then click. That's it. Just we have to take the spot healing brush over the pimple and click. That's it. Just with one click we can remove all the problem areas, all the problematic things we can remove just with one click. So see, we have removed all the pimples on her face. Let's also try to use this spot healing brush to remove some of these letters. So we can just use a right square bracket and left square bracket to increase or decrease the icon size. And if we are unable to see the icon, we can turn off the caps lock on our keyboard. Right. So let's try to remove this letter O using the spot healing brush. That's it. Just with one click we are able to remove. And let's remove this U. That's it. And let's remove this T. That's it. So we are able to remove everything using the spot healing brush, and we will also try to remove other letters, and we have to use this tool for second time or third time to remove the problems. If we are unable to remove the words in first attempt, so we have to go for the second attempt or maybe for the third attempt. So see here, and in case we see any tiny disturbances or mild marks, so we can again go back to the patch tool, or we can use the same spot healing brush to remove the issues. Right. So now we are able to remove all the words just with one click using the spot healing brush. Let's also try to remove this word box. So see here, don't try to increase the icon size too much. Right. So now we are able to remove all the text just with one click using spot healing brush. And we can also remove these words also, but I think for these words patch tool is better. Right. There is also one more thing that we can do using the spot healing brush. So the thing that we can do is, see here we have the image of C. So let me take a duplicate of this. So just we have to take a duplicate. And what we have done right now is we have extended the image. So we can actually cover the entire document with this particular C image. But one problem that arises here is we can see a seam here. There is a seam, a line. So we need to remove that line. So for that, what we will be doing is we will just merge these two layers. And we can use the spot healing brush this time to remove this seam. We just have to draw a line over this seam. So just we have to draw a line on this seam to get rid of this seam. And once you release the mouse, see, now we are able to remove the seam. And we can take one more duplicate here. So just we'll take one more duplicate, and see, we can see the seam over here. So again we need to merge these two layers, and again we will select the spot healing brush, and we can simply just draw a line over the seam. That's it. We are able to get rid of the seam. So this is how we can use the spot healing brush. We have one more tool among the healing tools. So that is content aware move tool. We have just now seen how we can use the content aware option to remove this boy. But instead of removing the boy, let's move the boy to the right. Right now he is on the left side. Let's move him to the right side. So we can do it by using this content aware move tool. So first we will select the rectangular marquee tool and draw a selection around this boy. Make sure that the selection is a little bit away from the boy, and then we will now use the content aware move tool to move the boy to the right side. We simply need to drag the selection, and once we are satisfied with the placement, we can release the mouse and we just have to hit enter. That's it. So we have moved the boy from the left side to the right side. The most important thing here is the background has to be uniform. The background should not have a complex set of objects, because of which we may not get accurate results. So we will do this on another image. So here we can see a bird. We will try to move the bird to the left side. We will just use lasso tool this time, and we will just draw a rough selection around this bird. That's it. Now we will again use the content aware move tool and simply drag the selection to the left. But also observe the background. In case the background is not too plain, and if it has a contrasting dark and light colors, we may not get accurate results. We simply have to hit enter now. That's it. So we can see, and if we observe closely, we may see some issues here. See here on the edge of this bird, or on the edge of the bird's wings, we can see some small amount of disturbance. We can fix that by using patch tool. We can just draw a selection. We just have to draw it properly, and then we simply have to drag. So we just have to do some trial and error here. Means we have to just do it for once or twice, and we can also try with the spot healing brush. Here we have used so many tools, so I think spot healing brush is doing a better job here. Right. So in this way we can fix the issues in case we see any issues here, and we'll use the same content aware move tool to move the text. Here it's very simple, because the background here is a plain background. The plain color is there in the background. So what we'll be doing is we will just use the content aware move tool. We will use the marquee tool to select the text that we want to move. Let's move this author name text using the content aware move tool and keep it below this book title. Right. We have moved it and we have placed it below the book title, and we will also do the same thing for this subtitle text. So we will select this particular word, and then we will use the content aware move tool, and we will simply drag it and keep it at the bottom. That's it. So we have moved the text from one place to another using content aware move tool. The next healing tool is the red eye tool. So here is the red eye tool. This is a little bit different compared to the other healing tools, because we don't remove any unwanted object or text using this red eye tool. We see a red dot inside some person's images due to the camera reflection or camera lighting. This is a very common phenomenon that we see, that is very common in many of the images. Sometimes it is pure red color, sometimes it is a brownish color, sometimes it is orangish or light red or dark red. So in that way we get colors close to red color. This is the red eye problem. So to remove this red eye problem, we can use the red eye tool. And remember, the red eye tool will only remove colors that are close to red color. So like orange, brown, or dark brown, or let's say dark red, light red. So only these colors can be removed using the red eye tool. So let us remove the red color in this girl's eyes. It's very easy to use. Here we have the options pupil size and darken amount. So we can keep the values to their defaults. The current value is 50%. We can keep the values to their defaults and we'll simply click on the red part in her eyes. That's it. It's very easy to use. We can just remove that red color with just one click. And if we want to increase the darkness, darken amount, we can increase the darken amount, and we can also increase the pupil size. And then if we click now, so we can see the pupil size has increased and also the darkness has also increased. So we can increase the size to 100% and we can get the result like this. But if you think the result is not too realistic, we can keep both the pupil size and the darken amount to 50% and then simply click inside the red part. So this is how we use red eye tool. We can use the content aware option to extend a pattern or a background or a texture. So here we have the image of bricks. If we want to extend the bricks pattern and fill the entire document with the bricks pattern, so what we can do is we can just select the rectangular marquee tool. We can just draw a selection that goes a little bit inside the bricks image from the top of the document, and then we simply have to right click inside the selection and we have to select the option fill, and just like before we have to select the option content aware from the contents list, and we will simply click OK. We can see here we are able to extend the bricks pattern. Let's try to extend the bricks pattern on the right side. Just we need to make sure that the selection goes a little bit inside the image so that content aware can identify the pattern, can understand the pattern. That's it. So we can get seamless patterns in this way. And then we will just complete the pattern, completely fill the pattern inside the document. So this is how we can extend the pattern. We'll try on another image. We have one more image here. We have the image of cracks. This time let's try to extend the pattern for this cracks image. Let's try to fill the entire document with cracks. Just drag the selection a little bit inside and then we'll simply right click and select fill. That's it. We may not get exactly perfect results, but still this option is better All we want to see is a seamless pattern. So that's it. We are just about to fill the entire document with this cracks pattern. That's it. So these are the healing tools which can be used to remove any unwanted objects or move the objects, or we can also remove the red color inside the eyes, or we can use the healing tools to extend a pattern. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please do like, subscribe, share, and if you have anything to say, do comment. See you again.